What's up, guys? It's time for me to make my first NBA video of the season. Let's dive into it. So as my number one seed in the West, I have the Utah Jazz. The Jazz had the number one seed in the Western Conference last season. They have an ascending young superstar in Donovan Mitchell. They have one of the best, if not the best, starting five in the National Basketball Association, and they have two of the best bench players in the NBA. Joe Ingles and Jordan Clarkson were both Sixth Man of the Year candidates. I like Utah as the number one seed. At number two, I have the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic was the league MVP last season. Jamal Murray comes back into the fold. Michael Porter Jr. took a massive jump from year one to year two. This team will continue to be a great regular season team. I still question their postseason success, but I have the Nuggets at 2. At number 3, I have the LA Lakers. LeBron James and Anthony Davis will have a bounce-back season. Last year, LeBron went out in the first round. Now, he added Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, brought back Rajon Rondo and JaVale McGee. This team will obviously advance to the second round of the playoffs. They could go further. However, I question their chemistry. Russell Westbrook has bounced around quite a bit. As talented as he is, as electrifying and as entertaining as he can be, he hasn't won on the biggest stage. Kevin Durant got out of OKC because of him. Paul George was traded to the Clippers because he couldn't win with Russell Westbrook. James Harden ultimately left the Rockets because of Russell Westbrook. It just hasn't worked from a chemistry standpoint. I think this team will be good. However, I'm not sure if they can be great. At number 4, I have the Golden State Warriors. Klay Thompson comes back into the fold. This team last year was on the verge of making the playoffs. Steph Curry was a league MVP candidate. This team has enough firepower to compete. They won't be a championship level team. They won't be the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. They won't even be the KD level Golden State team. However, they have plenty of talent, and I have them getting the 4th seed in the West. At number 5, I got the Dallas Mavericks. My biggest question with the Mavericks is Jason Kidd. He's been fired twice. I believe he is an upgrade over Rick Carlisle due to the fact that Luka, Rick, and Kristaps Porzingis had some lingering tension. And ultimately, Carlisle didn't get the job done. He was the coach in Dallas for an extended period of time, but wasn't able to get the job done in the postseason following the 2011 win over the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. Luka and KP have an interesting relationship. KP is frustrated with his role on the team. Luka doesn't have a second banana. This team will be good in the regular season, but I don't know how far they can go in the playoffs. At number 6, I have the Phoenix Suns. Last year, they won the Western Conference. However, every single team that they played going into the finals was banged up. LeBron didn't have AD in the first round. In the second round, Nikola Jokic didn't have Jamal Murray. In the Western Conference Finals, Kawhi Leonard didn't play. Phoenix is good, but they will take a step back from last season. At number 7, I have the Clippers. Last year, they ended up beating Utah in the Western Conference semifinals without Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi didn't play in Games 5 or Game 6. They ended up winning those games, and they gave Phoenix a run for their money without Kawhi. However, now Kawhi will be out for either half of the season or the entire season. This team will still be good enough to get a playoff spot, but they aren't a title contender. I have the Clippers at 7. And as my final seed, I have the Memphis Grizzlies. Last year, they were the 8th seed. I love what I'm seeing from John Morant. Dylan Brooks is an up-and-coming, young, fascinating player to watch. Give me Memphis at 8. On the outside looking in, I have the Blazers. Dame Dollar will have this team ready to compete. I love the Chauncey Billups hire. However, I don't know if Dame will be traded some point during the season or after the season. The Blazers don't have the necessary support he needs in order to win a championship. And at number 10, I have the Pelicans. Zion Williamson is currently dealing with an injury. They have a new head coach. This team doesn't have enough support around Zion, but I think the Blazers and Pelicans will be in the playoff race. In the East, as my number 1 seed, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. They're the defending NBA champion. Giannis is either the best basketball player in the NBA or the second best basketball player in the NBA. Not only that, but Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday finally had success in the postseason, and they get Dante DiVincenzo back. This roster has more than enough firepower, and now, after getting the monkey off his back, I expect Giannis to be a better player. At number 2, I have the Brooklyn Nets. This team will be a top 2 team in the East, regardless of Kyrie Irving's status. Right now, he is completely eliminated from all basketball activities. He can't practice with the team. He can't play with the team. If he comes back into the fold, I don't even know if he helps their chances. Kyrie is toxic. He's always an unknown. He will always do what's best for Kyrie. He's a me guy instead of a team guy. I just don't love this situation, but they have more than enough talent with KD leading the way, James Harden as his co-star. They signed Patty Mills, who's a great backup point guard to have. Not only that, but they signed Paul Millsap and re-signed LaMarcus Aldridge as well. The Nets will be tough to beat, and they could win the title. They have more than enough talent to do so, but Kyrie is a huge unknown. At number 3, I have the Celtics. I understand you guys can call me a homer, but I love the Ime Udoka hire. Jason Tatum had the Celtics as a top 4 seed last year until he got COVID. Jaylen Brown also went down. This team will have a bounce back season in 2019 with Kyrie. They took a step back from where they were in 2018. Last year, they had a disappointing season. I expect them to have a bounce back year this season. Next up, I have the Miami Heat as my number 4 seed. They signed Kyle Lowry. This is a good move. This big 3 can compete in the Eastern Conference and advance in the second round. At number 5, I have the Atlanta Hawks. Last year, Trae Young took the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't expect him to do that this season, but Atlanta is deep, they're young, they're hungry. I like what I'm seeing, and Nate McMillan was a great interim, did a great job as the interim head coach last season. At number 6, I have the Philadelphia 76ers. It will be interesting to see how the Ben Simmons situation plays out. Joel Embiid is one of the best players in the Eastern Conference. I got Philly at 6. At number 7, I have the Knicks. They signed Kemba Walker during the offseason last year. They made the playoffs, and Julius Randle disappeared. I think Tom Thibodeau established a culture last year. I expect them to make the playoffs in the weak Eastern Conference. And at number 8, I have the Chicago Bulls. They signed Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Nikola Vucevic. These are some nice players. However, it isn't going to translate in them winning a championship. They'll make the playoffs. And at number 9 and number 10, I have the Charlotte Hornets and the Indiana Pacers. Indiana always finds themselves competing in that playoff mix. I believe they will be in that discussion at the end of the year. And I love what I'm seeing from LaMelo Ball, fresh off of winning the Rookie of the Year. Both of those teams will compete for playoff spots. However, they won't make it. In my conference finals predictions, I have the Lakers taking on the Jazz, and I have the Bucks taking on the Nets. I understand. I know what you guys are thinking. Oh my goodness, you're going to take the Lakers and Nets. This is so predictable. Of course you're going to go with the Lakers and Nets. The Lakers have LeBron James. He's been the best basketball player for the last decade. KD is on another level after dropping 49 points in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. After dropping 48 in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, his foot was on the line. If he's just a centimeter or two back, the Nets advance and go on to win the NBA championship. I get it. I understand it. But I'm going to go with the Utah Jazz and the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't love the Kyrie situation in Brooklyn, and I don't love the chemistry with the Lakers. In a Jazz-Bucks NBA Finals, I believe this will be epic. I think it will go 7 games. However, Utah is a better team than Phoenix was last season. I expect the Jazz to have home court advantage. They have 2 of the best bench players in all of basketball. This starting 5 is loaded. Quinn Snyder is a better head coach than Mike Budenholzer. I understand it's a bold pick. The Lakers and Nets are favorites to win their respective conferences, but I really think Utah has the talent to beat all of these teams, and Milwaukee is fresh off of winning a championship. I expect Giannis to continue to improve as a player. Give me the Utah Jazz over the Milwaukee Bucks. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you liked this video, and feel free to post a comment and let me know what you think. Thanks guys.